Hello. Okay, here are my thoughts on Ahsoka Episode 3, Time to Fly. And we start off with what I thought was a really good scene with Ahsoka and Sabine training. It was a bit of a callback to A New Hope. It gave me classic Star Wars vibes, and you get this kind of these two characters, you get to see them grow, and sort of their relationship starts to grow within the first, I say, 10 minutes of this episode, and I really appreciated these character moments. And the droid, who's voiced brilliantly by David Tennant, I think he's fantastic as this droid. I really like the character. I think the droid's name, I think you pronounce it, is Huyang, I think. Apologies if that's incorrect. And I can understand why a lot of people would start to find him annoying, because you do get the constant sort of stabs and jibes towards Sabine with her not being good enough to be a Jedi. But for me, it's kind of just working. It's actually making me laugh and chuckle, because I don't find the character Huyang, this droid, annoying at all. I think it works. And it's in these first 10 to 15 minutes with these moments with Ahsoka and Sabine that you really get to see these characters, you know, their relationship grow and develop. And it also reaffirms in these moments that everyone has the Force, but not everyone can tap into it. And I just really like that aspect about the Force. There's this beautiful scene with the Mag where she tries to move the Mag with the Force, but she just can't. And this is where I'm with agreement on, say for example, Christian Harloff, who I've sort of watched and followed for many years, a big Star Wars fan, and sort of he recently said in his review for this episode that he hopes that Sabine is just not able to tap into the Force, that she's just unable to, but just ends up becoming a great warrior. And that's where I'm at. And for me personally, it will just add a hell of a lot more emotional weight to the character's story, to her journey, and just to the story in general, and just give it a little, you know, it will feel just a little bit more real and human. Something that we can kind of really connect to and relate to, because not everyone is going to be able to be Luke Skywalker. Not everyone is going to be able to be Anakin Skywalker. You know, we're all different, and I like that aspect of the story, or, you know, of the Force, where, yeah, everyone has it, but, you know, not everyone is able to tap into it. And for me, that just adds a certain amount of realism, groundedness, and depth, and just again to this particular character's story, Sabine's emotional weight. I really like the scene with Hera and the New Republic officials, the senators. It gave me slight Andor vibes. I like the jibe by Hera. Just sit back and see who comes out on top. I just thought the way she delivers this line, it's just perfect. And it's this writing that adds a certain amount of humanity and groundedness to such a story. Like, it's a brief moment, but yet it adds so much depth to the characters and to just the greater story as a whole. Mary Elizabeth Winstead as this character Hera, I think it's just perfect casting, and I just love how she's brought this character to life, and she's particularly great in this scene. This is probably my favourite scene with her in. She's just perfect in the way in she conveys her frustrations with the senators, the officials, you know, with not wanting to pursue this threat of throne returning. There's so many layers to the motivations, and it's simply conveyed through such a great performance and very smart, tight writing. I really don't understand where a lot of fans and viewers of this show so far are sort of finding these performances wooden. Like, I'm not quite seeing it. I think everyone is really performing to, you know, and they give it a very real and natural performance also. Like in this particular scene, with the way Mary Elizabeth Winstead delivers a lot of these lines, and just she's only standing there talking to these people, to these holograms, but it's just the way in which she delivers these lines through certain sort of nuances with her expressions and all of that. It's just perfect, and along with the writing, it just, yeah, feels natural, feels organic. So I can't quite understand or get a lot of other people's criticisms when it comes to the performances, but, you know. And then the last, I'd say, 15 minutes of this episode, you get a fantastic space battle. And it's through this space battle, you sort of get to see Ahsoka's and Sabine's relationship grow again. And, you know, it's not just an action scene for the sake of being an action scene. It also aids the story. It moves the story along. It's beautiful in the way in which it's shot. And it's just, it takes you back to A New Hope again. So, you know, that when you've got the Millennium Falcon, it's evading the TIE fighters. It has those classic Star Wars vibes about it. But at the same time, you've got characters that are constantly developing and growing. And I really like the scene where they fly into the Purrgil. I think that's how you pronounce their names, the space whales. And it's a beautiful scene. It's just the way in which it's shot and how it plays out with the fighters sort of flying through these whales. And it takes me back to The Empire Strikes Back with, you know, the Millennium Falcon and the TIE fighters going through the asteroid field. It has those Star Wars classic vibes about it. But at the same time, it feels like its own thing. It's not trying to copy what's been before. It feels new. It feels original. But at the same time captures the magic of Star Wars, I felt. And yeah, that particular scene with the Purrgil as they flying in between all these giant space whales was just simply beautiful. I liked it. And with these first 3 episodes of Ahsoka, they really have managed to capture the classic vibe of Star Wars. Like, you've got elements of the original trilogy, but also elements from the prequels, whether it be the sound design of the fighters, to the costume design, to scenes and moments like flying through the Purrgil. They are really capturing the magic of Star Wars beautifully, and I'm really enjoying it. My one major gripe so far with this show is the consistency and just the length of these episodes. Like, the first 2 episodes, they were around 45 minutes to 50 minutes long. This one is 30 minutes long. Now, you know, as I've just said, they do actually achieve quite a lot in this 30 minutes, but I just want more. I want more of Hera talking to the New Republic. I want more of Baylan Skoll. You know, he's already becoming one of my favourite characters within this show. And, you know, he's so multi-layered. There's so much depth there. And all of that is conveyed through a very good, real, natural performance by the late Ray Stevenson. But it's also the writing as well. And, you know, he's only in brief moments already. You know, so far we've only really seen him in some brief moments. He was in a fantastic scene in episode 1. But it's in those brief moments you get to see so much through his performance, through Ray Stevenson's performance and the writing, and he's easily becoming one of my favourite characters of this show so far, and I just want more. I want more of this world, this story, these characters, and I just feel like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, it's just not quite enough for me personally, even though up until now, I feel like what they're doing in the episodes, they are achieving, they are doing what I feel like they should be doing. And so yeah, it's a bit of a frustrating one for me, but for the first time you also hear this mystery character that I really like the look of, the design of. Morak, I think that's how you pronounce his name, speak for the first time, as you wish. And again, another callback to A New Hope with Darth Vader.
As you wish.
When it comes to some of the theories with the fans in regards to who this character might be of Morak, a lot of people are sort of guessing it might be Ezra. Now, I personally hope it's not going to be, and I don't think it will be. I mean, it would just, for me, it would just be lazy. But I am hoping, and what I think will work, would be that the character Morak is Starkiller. I'm a big fan of the Force Unleashed games, and I'm kind of more on board with that theory that Morak is going to be Starkiller, another apprentice of Darth Vader. And again then, that just adds another layer to the story and to these characters' journeys. Like, you know, you've got Morak and you've got Ahsoka, 2 past apprentices of Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, going up against each other. That adds so much more depth and layers depending on how this develops and evolves. So, and yeah, I just kind of really like that idea a hell of a lot more. So yeah, episode 3 of Ahsoka, Time to Fly, is a very fun, enjoyable episode that really sort of takes you back to when you first fell in love with Star Wars, I feel. And I think, for me personally, anything that Dave Filoni touches with Star Wars does that to me anyway. He really understands Star Wars, and this particular episode, again, has got so many callbacks to the original trilogy. It's got elements of both the original and the prequels, and it just works beautifully. It's blended very, very nicely. And just the way in which this episode plays out, where you've got a lot of character building, a lot of it's through very sort of simple kind of nuanced performances and just real smart, tight writing, and a fantastic space battle scene. You know, this is Star Wars at the end of the day, and it's just simply, yeah, it's beautiful. So yeah, they are my thoughts on episode 3, Time to Fly. I'm really enjoying it. I'm not going to grade every episode, like I said in my previous review. I'm going to grade the series as a whole, because I just don't think it's fair slapping a grade on these episodes when they're only telling parts of a story. Maybe that's just me, but that's how I feel. So yeah, they are my thoughts. What did you guys think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you agree with anything I've said? Please let me know below in the comments, and let's get a discussion going. And if you want to watch future reviews from just some random Welsh geek rambling on, then please hit the subscribe button. It will mean an awful lot to me. My next review will be for Cobweb. That was originally supposed to be at the beginning of the week, but I was unable to make the advanced screening, so I am catching it this weekend. So yeah, thanks for watching. I would usually sort of end these videos with, you know, catch you guys soon, but do you know what? Fuck it. It's a Star Wars review. May the Force be with you.